As we stand at the doorstep of 2022, we believe God has big plans in store for our church. Plans to share His story, to care for people in need, to look out for one another. We want to enter next year ready to go all in, ready to serve, ready to give so that our plans become action. But even though this is the time of year where we talk about budgets and giving and whatnot, we also know that the last couple of years have been interesting. So much has happened that it's pretty easy to lose track. So, as we ask you as a church to get ready for what's ahead, maybe it helps to take a quick refresher course on where we are and how we got here. Ready? Here we go. Let's rewind back to the end of 2019. While the year's weekly giving fell a bit shy of matching our proposed budget, you still gave well over $5.3 million, which was nearly 2% more than the year before, and our highest annual total ever. That set the stage for 2020, and we came out of the gate strong. Through the first 10 weeks of the year, weekly giving was easily exceeding the budget. On February 8th, well over 3,000 people from around the community filled the building for our outreach event featuring Lee Strobel. It was the largest event Memorial Road has ever hosted. Excitement was high. Follow-up events were planned. We were rolling. And then, well, you know. You probably don't need this video to remind you that the rest of 2020 was, well, let's say a challenge. Our church family, along with the world at large, directly experienced the loss and hardship of COVID. And yet, at the same time, you rose to the extraordinary occasion. As a church, you stepped up during the pandemic to feed school kids and families in need. You delivered care packages and meals to shut-ins, medical workers, and educators. You tutored kids whose families needed help during distance learning. You gave nearly $170,000 to help MRCC families and others in the community with various needs brought on by COVID. And throughout it all, church itself continued. Our ministries got resourceful and creative as we learned how to totally reimagine how youth and children's and young adults ministries could work, how to continue to support our missionaries in the midst of a global crisis, how to shepherd a flock that was sheltering at home, how to do worship and class entirely online or outside in order to safely care for our own and our community. You gave more money than ever before to the children's homes we support. You continued giving to our Imagine campaign to eliminate our debt. You obliterated our Mission Sunday goal, giving the third highest amount ever. And while our weekly giving understandably dipped, you still gave about 94% of the planned budget. It all sent a powerful message about the resolve of God's people. Now, at the end of 2021, we find ourselves in an interesting place. While many things look more like they did before the pandemic, the world is not yet back to normal. Tensions and uncertainties still abound. While we reduced our planned budget for 2021, the first time we've done so in many years, our contributions remain short of that goal. For comparison's sake, through the first 10 weeks of 2020, we averaged almost $111,000 in weekly giving. In 2021, we averaged about $96,000 per week. Our ministry leaders always work diligently to spend no more than what we collect. And during the early part of the pandemic, that was relatively easy to do. Even as weekly giving fell, the circumstances of the pandemic also reduced the need for certain things, such as transportation or class supplies. As we've phased back into more typical operations this year, and as our attendance has swelled, the picture has shifted once more. The funds needed to provide the types of ministry we aspire to are returning to pre-pandemic levels as more members return and God continues sending many new faces through our doors. Our ministry leaders have exciting plans for reaching out to our community, serving those in need, and blessing our MRCC family in 2022. And while we will certainly be able to carry out many of those projects and programs, increasing our weekly giving above current levels will allow us to offer a big new Children's Ministry Night of Service event in the summer, to equip additional classrooms with AV capabilities, to provide a new family marriage enrichment seminar, to begin a program to train young men and women for future ministry, to serve smaller congregations with resources and training, and much more. God has also allowed us to approach our imagined goal of fully retiring our debt faster than we thought possible. When that happens, we want to be ready and able to charge forward on various new dreams that you as a church have proposed. Our budget reduction necessarily shrunk the pool of funds available for launching Imagine initiatives from what we initially planned. The more we give towards our regular budget, the more we can grow these funds and increase our impact on community care, our church plants, fostering and adoption efforts, senior Christian ministry, and other imagined dreams. We do expect our weekly giving to rise as we continue to rebound from the effects of the pandemic. We believe that will happen, and so we are keeping our budget flat as we enter 2022. Even as we ask for your prayers and for your help in that goal, we remain uplifted and amazed by your generosity. You gave over $833,000 on Mission Sunday 2021, our highest total ever. You donated school supplies to Millwood, gave money to hurricane victims, and assisted families displaced from Afghanistan. In short, you have always excelled in the grace of giving. At the same time, we are striving to get back to and exceed our previous levels of ministry, of doing good deeds and sharing good news. In humility and appreciation, we ask you to excel even more as we head into 2022 with the aim of looking ever closer to the church that Jesus envisioned.